your true lifestyle. TLS, TLS, true lifestyle, true lifestyle for you and your family. TLS.
Speaking of family, bao mga palangga, panibago naman nga episodes ang inyong TLS True Lifestyle. Ininyo lagad Lailani Salam Alba.
Kagini si Token Lizares.
Nagakanta sa diwat sang
TLS, TLS, true lifestyle, true lifestyle for you and your family.
Join us sa isa naman ka episode sang
TLS
TLS Plus.
TLS, TLS, true lifestyle for you and your family. If you want to relax and be happy, if you want a good food and great company, there's one perfect place for you, and it's called Paradiso. Paradiso. Paradiso del Sur, your paradise here on earth. For inquiries, call 0920-2486-889. Remember the name, Paradiso, your place to unwind. TLS, TLS, true lifestyle for you and your family.
Back here on TLS Plus, subong nga aga, among good mga bisita, good paghatag sa atin sa update. Ang ikaduhang nga amay sa siyudad sa Bacolod. Ang persona nga nadumduman ko is on top of the situation sa nag-una gid naglupok ang pandemya, no? Wala sang diwan kundi ang busy alkalde sa siyudad sa Bacolod. Good day, Vice.
Good day, Miss Lynn, Miss Docs. Good day to all the televiewers of TLS.
Plus, Vice, kumusta ka na after 1 year na about ang challenge yung napangatibang mo?
Well, to be exact, a year and 4 months
Yes.
after the issuance ng
Yes.
executive order issued by the mayor last January 31st, appointing me as to chair the Bacolod IATF. And that medyo nakapahuway compared sang paglupok ng COVID. Kaya at the time, I think the entire world nagakuha, no? Taubunta ni siya gurong nag-experiment. Kaya man ta template mo. So, nag-trial and error. To be exact.
Ano ginabantayan sa mga siyudad because of this situation? Anong ginatutukan nyo din?
Well, ang aton EOC, may daily huddle. 8:30 kami na sugod. Then tanang issues, mga concerns na take up na immediately ma-address mong problem. And subong may kuha naman. The other day, nag-meet naman si Mayor sa mga kapitanes natin. Kaya given na siya ang away is ari sa barangay siya. So we can only do so much. So ang help, we need all the help we can. And we need everybody's help.
Si Vice, ang isa ka family member, abe, may ginabatsyag na, ginatago niya, kay feeling mo, for him to continue his work, kay para makakaon pamilya niya. Dahil sa kabalo, nga nalat na niya ng tanan. So paano nyo ini ma-address sa public? Kag mo awareness, bala nga, hindi nyo ni paghimuon, kay the more mas lain ang inyo nga.
Well, kaya mo to ang in kwanta naman, meet ka ang mga kapitanes, na for them to campaign sa mga kapurukan. In fact, yung request na sila ang mga barangay sa may mga vehicles nila.
Oo.
Voice, ang tingog na ni Kapitan, na kung dito damo tao, pundo to sila, and educate their constituents, the real situation. Very important na ang munisipong number of cases na ito. Di ba? Dapat importante na siya para may intindihan sa tao, kasi COVID arapan. Kaya sa dalom, damo pagkidyan nga, hindi pagpati na tugtuod ang COVID. Kaya it's more than a year na wala man sila gamas. Wala man sila ga-social distancing, wala man kami malatnan. Di ba?
Is it possible, Vice, kung ako, tricycle driver, ako ang breadwinner, may kabataan ko asawa, I have the symptoms nga, balaan ko na may ara ko. Kag makadto ko to, kay mapabalo na ko temprano, no? Kay mapaswab ko. Kami buligan sa atong syudad, nga matigaan siya ayuda para mabuhi niya man ang iya kabataan. While, kumabalaan, gid man nga positive siya. Basta amo man gani ka pa nagdo sila, kay amo na abala magutman ang ilang kabataan, Vice.
Well, ang ato yung omnibus guideline, we have to follow. Yeah, governed by laws eh. That's something. Ang may guidelines kita to follow. So, ang ato niya swab testing, free na iya for everybody sa bro or sa base center. Only that nga ang omnibus guidelines na gasilin na symptom-based kita. In other words, kung wala ka symptoms, hindi ka maswab. Pwede ka maswab at your own expense sa private labs, no? May arada nga government na assistant. May ginabaton kada nga rice and canned goods. Only that nga limited man na siya. Hindi man na siya sufficient or enough for the next 2 weeks or 14 days na dapat guwa man ang imo eh. So, pagguwa ka man sa imo personal na resources.
Kahit ito sa challenge, ang pagpatuman ng vaccination, kumusta naman?
As of now, ang ato niya vaccine na ginabaton nationwide, halin na isa sa World Health Organization. So, donations sa tanan. And dati ang national government, ang national IACF, amoy ang nag-decide as to how much ang imo na allocation. So sa aton din nag-abot ang Sinovac and AstraZeneca. Ang iya sa city government, nag-purchase siya using some local funds, amo ning AstraZeneca. And that the company promised us na ang vaccines nila will be available on the month of July and August.
Okay, guys. Di man ayan ang ating syudad sa Bacolod sa tinatawag na spike or surge ng COVID-19. Nga, halimbawa lang, no, God forbid, nagsaka pagid. How ready are we?
Well, as of now, sukalaw ay man ang siling kadamo to vacancies sa quarantine facilities nato. God forbid, but then ang
God forbid.
ang kwanta balagal ang tawta siyang daily cases. There was a recommendation to open another school. In case mag-spike siya, may quarantine facility siya.
Basta kadabog wala sa mga pregnant women nga nag-positive. Ano ang mahimutan ni para sa ilaman?
Correct na siya. Honestly, damo siyang mga deliveries.
Oo, nga
Naara lang siya ang bilang.
Oo, nagbata, nagbala.
Tungod, gutok din aton hospital. Ang aton policy is that before batunon ka lang ko sa layin ko na may negative swab result. But then kung ara na si doktor yung may off na iya. Wala na siya choice.
Ay magwa ng baby.
So may ara itong patient na nagpositive. Ego sila tanan eh.
Okay, guys. Gusto naman ipalintog ng mensahe na sa mga pumuluyo ng Bacolod, especially ang iban nga nahadlok pa magpabakuna. gawa ang iban, hindi bigyan ko bakuna. Yun ang presidente.
So I think the benefit outweigh disadvantages. And that may mga given siya all vaccine. No, why man assurance actually nga hindi ka man positive after vaccination. In fact, damo na positive. But I'm sure na 100% protected ka. And that hindi ka maglabot o mag-reach sa severe or even hospitalization. So for me, not only think many times siguro, not only once, twice, many times. Favorable or dako ang advantages or ang advantage, ano pa vaccine ka sa hindi.
So, nabatian nyo ng payag sa ating Vice Mayor, dapat paminsalan sa maayo. Nagtitipid tayo naman sa kadamuon, sa nag-vaccinate yung man sa gamay na porsyente ang nakabig natin na yung deklara na napatay sa vaccination. Thank you so much, Vice, for your time. Kabay pa ang imo kusog sa pagkadahin sa katatubang yung pagpaghangkat sa ating, hindi lamang sa ating syudad, kundi siyang lupos sa ating punsod, no?
Thank you, Vice. God bless you, ha?
Yes, sir.
Nakabili ko nito patak.
TLS, TLS, True Lifestyle, True Lifestyle for you and your family.
Paano naman ginaspend sang isa ka estudyante sa law, kasubong man isa ka iloy sang 3 ka mga kabataan, ang iya sininga tiempo, samtang siya naga-online schooling, kag naga-devote sang iya sininga tiempo sa pagkolekta kag sa pagpananom. Diri maga-focus ang aton istorya sa sininga episode.
A mother of 3 and a law student, Miss Kay Verzosa, was among the plantita I was able to bond with and has amazed me with her interest in plant hunting and collection. Journey with me as I share to you the plantita life of Kay. How does her life revolve among her cherished plants?
I'm Kay Verzosa and this is Eli, and we will tell you how we started collecting plants. Actually, it started with Eli because she likes watering the plants every morning. This is our garage. Since pandemic, we're not able to go home because it's difficult for us to travel back and forth home. Where usually we stay in Kabankalanon or Hinabaan. The philodendron I got is philodendron dark lord, and it's so tiny and also very keen. And after that, every time we go around, like PSD, for weekend, we go to gardens, and I started like looking for philodendrons. From we even go to Malbagan, La Carlota, and La Granja, Sumag, and other places just to search for the rare philodendrons that we like to be added to our collections.
This is Elisha watering the plant every morning, and this is how our garden looks like before we started collecting plants. We just started collecting them like 2 months ago, and we just transformed the garden. Now this is our garage slash garden. Here I have here some aglonema and philodendrons. Here I have some of my snake plants, bigger plants, and here we have our decorated Elisha's playground. It's sandpit with plants around. I'll show you my favorite philodendrons. Dying ampon, black cardinals, golden violin. I have pearly marks, white wizard, pink princess, red sun. This one is goldie eye. This one is pink princess. This one is monstera Thai constellation. This one is, I forgot, 6, 8 something. Here burley marks. I know, ataba pons, golden brick rock. I still can't remember most of them. Here, Paraíso Verde, Choco Cardinal, Orange Marmalade, Bilite, Cebuno, what else? Jungle Fever. There's my red Cardinal, and I still have some there at the back. Gloriosum, Golden Milano Ni, and many others.
Kay demonstrated to us the process of repotting as well as planting her rare plant collection.
Now this is how I do my repotting. Actually, I use rice hulls with Carabao manure because they are very good for philodendrons. They are easily drained since philodendrons doesn't like to get wet too much or too often. That's why we use a medium that will easily drain, because when their roots are soaked too much, they get rot and eventually they will die.
The fun and adventure continue as Kay never stops searching for rare plants to be part of her collection.
And this is the fun part, because me and my family and friends go around and we search for the rarest, but of course affordable plant that we can get. And sometimes we don't know where we are, and it's really like a good way to, just de-stress.
Ano daw dito, no? Pet China na ito yung mami ito. Ara mga guba nga dahon, day. Ayan na, day. Purihi, day. Day, nan. Very good. Nan. Dapat very good. Guba yan.
TLS, True Lifestyle for you and your family.
For almost close to 4 years now, the Rotary Club of Bacolod consistently brought TUBIG para sa Barangay project to the barangays, even during this time of the pandemic. TUBIG sa Barangay was conceptualized and unveiled to the public during the 80th charter anniversary of the Rotary Club of Bacolod in July of 2017. A truck and trailer with generator set and equipment worth 4.5 million pesos with a Rotary logo embossed on the tanker gets water from past District Governor Edgar C. Spring Farm in Alangilan, which in itself was a filtration unit installed on-site. Water is filtered on-site and loaded onto the truck tanker. Clean potable water from the tanker then goes through second round of filtration and purification to ensure clean, purified water for the community.
Since we started before the campaign period until now,
Okay.
sige na every Saturday.
Okay, and you have practically served all barangays.
Barangay lang sa Bacolod, it's all covered.
The 61 barangays.
61 barangay. So
Okay. Ano ni siya, Gob? Ano na-distribute ng water?
it's mineral water. Yung source ta spring mo.
Okay.
So gin-maintain to na ang pag-serve hindi purified, it's mineral water.
Describe to us this ilang ato nga mo truck mo siya. Anong siyang capacity? Anong unod siya?
Truck in Bacolod sa Japan, it's around 10,000 liters capacity.
And then?
So, at mo na, before siya pump pasulod sa atong tanke, may filtration system na sa source. And then before i-pump out siya, before ihatag sa mga tao, may harap na another filtration system. Just to make sure na ang tubig na hatag naman is clean and safe. Kag pwede na may nom kay this is a mineral water, not a purified water.
Lastly, Gob, nga ang amo gina ang naghatag sa imo sang mag-an nga buot nga amo na ang klase proyekto ang imo iduso.
It was the club decision.
Okay.
Way back before sang atong sang club anniversary of 88 years in
Yes.
service. gin decision na sa members hindi lang ako. Nag-create kami isang committee and then after that pag-decide sa committee ginaboy na sa club members kung objection mo wala. Kaya mo nang decision na TUBIG yata.
Okay.
So at least every week you serve TUBIG for the past more than 2 years.
Thousands of families benefited.
Thousands of families benefited.
This project is RC Bacolod's answer to one Rotary areas of focus, water sanitation and hygiene. During this pandemic, clean and safe water is an utmost necessity. Due to poverty, most communities in Negros do not have access to this basic need. The Rotary Club of Bacolod mobile water tanker with purifying station trailer is a all-in-one solution. Rotary Club of Bacolod bring clean and safe purified water directly to the barangays and affected communities for free.
TUBIG para sa barangay is an ongoing project of the Rotary Club of Bacolod in which if nakita nyo naman siguro may truck na may dala trailer, nag-provide kami not only for barangays but also all over Negros sang free purified drinking water. Libre na siya. All you have to do is dalon nyo lang ang inyong container, make sure nga ang container nilimpyo, and then free lang na siya.
You call this project what? Ano gid yung terms in isang project?
TUBIG para sa barangay.
And you have targeted, and so far how many barangays have you visited and how many people benefited from this?
For this year at least nakakuha na kami mga more than 40 plus to 50 plus communities. And ang amon to nga pinakagrabe is dito sa Victorias. Nag-upod kami sa Rotary Club of Victorias. May kaya isang bago lang ginatapos New Year, and then sila sang baha, nag-flash flood kung nadumduman nyo. Sang this year lang may flash flood sa Victorias. And thankfully nagkakato kami to, and then nakatag kami sila libreng water around siguro mga 200 families sa ilang Yolanda Housing Project dito sa Victorias.
From July 4, 2020 to May 29, 2021, RC Bacolod's TUBIG para sa barangay has distributed purified drinking water to 41 communities. 4 of these communities are disaster-struck areas such as Barangay Singkang, Barangay 21, and Barangay 12, and Kingtown Yolanda Housing Project in Victorias. In line with the club's Save Lives Fight COVID-19, Rebuild Economy Advocacy, for every water distribution, RC Bacolod also give out reusable face masks and face shields for the community. Total of more than 100 communities were served, or a total of 20,000 families, and more than 1 million pesos in estimated total cost of goods were also donated since the start of the operation in 2019.
TLS, True Lifestyle for you and your family.
Very interesting gid sa karon ang aton nga feature story nga igapakita sa inyo. Inibahin sa isa ka retired engineer, isa ka businessman nga nagsugod sa pag-reforest sang iya sini nga lugar sa may Pila, Laguna, paagi sa pagtanom sang kapin sa 2,100 ka species sang hardwood. Update ninyo kami sa sini nga feature stories.
Welcome to this 10-year-old 1-hectare tree farm planted to more than 2,100 trees, majority which are Philippine hardwood in Pila, Laguna. 68-year-old engineer Antonio Aguirre has his personal contribution to the preservation of Philippine indigenous trees, especially the hardwood species, such as almasiga, amugis, apitong, balayong, tao, ipil, kamagong, lawaan, mangkono, molave, nara, palong Maria, tuog, and yakal. Tony Aguirre's fruit-bearing trees are avocado, batuan, guava, coconut trees, kaimito, karmay, lanzones, makopa, mangoes, mangosteen, pili, rambutan, sampalok, bananas, and siniguelas. He also planted guapol, calamansi, kiat-kiat, and lemons.
I have always been fascinated by trees, especially majestic, awe-inspiring, and giant trees. I think if these trees can talk, they have so many stories to tell. They are the silent sentinels of a forgotten past. They have stood there for innumerable years, just observing the changing of the seasons and unrecorded history. I must have been in grade 5 or grade 6 in our social studies subject when I learned of the giant sequoia and redwood trees growing along the northern California coast, Oregon, and Washington states facing the Pacific Ocean. I learned many of these trees are at least 3,000 years old, and the oldest in record is more than 3,500 years old. They existed or predated the time Jesus walked on earth. They are one of the oldest living things in the world. That sparked my interest in big trees. I am fortunate to have seen a glimpse of some of these trees in a visit to Muir Woods National Park, 19 kilometers north of San Francisco in 2005.
Tony also has his collections of flowering trees. His collection includes April shower, balay lamok, banaba, kakmon, golden trumpet, kamuning, kansilay, malabulak, Palawan cherry blossoms, and Tabibwa rosea.
It was also during this time when we were renting a big house in my hometown that was made from 100% Philippine hardwood. The posts, floors, and walls were all made of premium lumber like kamagong, lawaan, and yakal. Nails could not penetrate kamagong, and so it was placed side by side without nails, and the floor was squeaking all the time. I learned that these hardwood trees have become rare and endangered. My childhood reaction was, what a pity if these majestic trees will all disappear. In all my other subsequent trips abroad, I also observed how first world countries like the US, Canada, Japan, Germany, and Great Britain would protect and preserve their forests, while all we do is cut it haphazardly here in the Philippines, So it became a passion to plant some of these indigenous premium hardwood species for the subsequent generations to see an actual live standing tree, not just as a furniture.
TLS, TLS, True Lifestyle, True Lifestyle for you and your family.
Back here sa TLS Plus, subong aga aton ginagda nga mga bisita ang isa ka pulmonologist agud sa pagsabat sang madamo naton nga mga palamangkutanon tuhoy sa COVID-19. Paano ini nakaapekto sa aton baga kag ano ang dapat naton himuon sa tion nga kita may ginabatsyag nga simptomas ng COVID-19. Joining us sa aton sini nga topiko wala sang B1 kundi si Dr. Rhea Tabujara, isa ka pulmonologist. Good day, Doc.
Good day. Thank you for saying yes to us.
Good morning, Ma'am Lai.
Kabalogid ko, Doc, kung ano ka kasako. Kabalog ko kung ikaw gidalaganan sa kadamaan sa mga pasyente nga nagabatsyag sang
Problema sa
ilang lungs and COVID nga nagaigo sa aton nga lungs. Isa na dira sa ginabuligan gid ni Doctor. Doc, bisan na balaan ang isang tanan, gusto ko lang nga ipamangkot gyapon para nga madamo kita sang mabuligan nga mga televiewers naton nga mapahibalo naton sila. If may ara ako bisang symptoms ng COVID, Doc, ano ang dapat ko nga himuon? Kay iban gapanik na mo. Ano dapat himuon?
So, example, kung may ara kita or ikaw ng symptoms ng COVID-19, so example, may ka sipon, parang natin sang tutunlan, lanat, or ubo-ubo nga gamay, mga simptomas ang upper respiratory tract infection. So mas mayo gid nga mag-isolate kita sa aton hukon sa balay as much as possible. Kung mas mayo may ara ka isa ka kwarto, ikaw lang sa imong kwarto, sa imong may ara ka man imong CR para bala at least ma-separate or ma-avoid ka ang dasig nga pag-spread sang virus. So, importante man kung may symptoms ka naman sa balay, aside nga ma-isolate, mas mayo gid nga ma-wear ka Japon mask. Tapos, always gid hand hygiene. So, after kung may ara kang simptoma nga mag-isolate ka, as much as mas importante gid para mabalaan mo kung kung COVID gid man siya, ti mas mayo gid ma subject ta sa aton nga self sa swab test. So with that ma-stop ta ang pag-rapid nga spread sa virus minsan sa aton balay. Kaya syempre kung isa lang ta ka balay, ga depend ga do ka kumpiyansa ta bala nga ati kuan man yung tanan isa man lang kami ka balay, so hindi na kami magkuan. So as much as possible we have to observe man Japon ang social distancing or physical distancing sa aton nga panimalay. Tapos kung magkaon kaya mo na na medyo distansya ta kay kung sa balay titingob gid taga-kaon.
Doc, as a pulmonary doctor, how does COVID affect the lungs?
So ang COVID-19 nga virus, once you get infected, mayara nga complication. So pinaka-common nga complication is the pneumonia. So COVID-19 pneumonia, pag na-infect ka and overwhelmed ang aton nga immune system, ang aton nga lungs mismo, it gets irritated, naga-inflamed, and then pag inflamed na siya, kung may inflamed or sa block maghubag, so kung kita tara kung mahubag daw gabasa siya, so naga-fluid filled ng aton nga air sacs, ang gagmay nga parte sa aton nga baga, which is amo na siya ang units ang naga-absorb sa oxygen, ang oxygen transport. So that's why pag mag-fluid filled na siya or grabe ng inflammation sa aton baga, kung makita siya sa x-ray, isa pa x-ray ta puti na katama. That's the time man nga makita ta nga nubo ng aton oxygen saturation, oxygen level sa aton nga lawas. So pag amo na ang matabo sa aton nga lawas, nubo ang oxygen, makita ta personally ang aton mga pasyente, hapo na sila because
short na sila.
Ay, hapo aton pasyente.
Ano na, Doc, may tubig na ng ilang mga baga? Ang puti na, Doc?
Ang puti na siya, it means either pwede tubig pero inflammation na siya sa kwanta.
Okay. Dahil man na, Doc, sa kung may TB ka, ano naman niya ang makita sa kwan? Para mabalaan ba sa nagapalalamati?
Depende, kisa sa TB. Kisa ang sa TB, may mga buhok-buhok ng kisa may mga capillary lesions, nodules, or mga kugan, granuloma, sa ating baga. Kumpara sa COVID-19, nga mag-pneumonia, so gaputi siya yung means nga do kubag lang ato nga baga, inflamed siya.
Doktora, what is the difference between COVID-19 and seasonal flu and allergies?
Actually, kung ilang taon tabay symptoms, kung ginabatsyag sa atong mga pasyente, hindi ta mabalaan kung COVID-19 siya or seasonal flu. Pero ang mostly ang kinalain sa COVID-19 kag sa seasonal flu, ang causative agent kung anong kung anong carrier. So sa COVID-19, so amo na ang bagong strain sang coronavirus, ang SARS-CoV-2. While ang influenza naman niya, ang flu or ang seasonal flu, it's caused by the influenza viruses. So ang allergic cough naman, mga allergic rhinitis, so mostly may mga triggers na iya sa aton mga allergens, so amo na. But the three of them may present sang signs and symptoms nga pareho lang gid, either sipon, ubo, ilanat, ang flu kagang COVID-19 amo ginang do pares-parehas. Pero ang medyo kuan lang is ang COVID-19 dasig ang pag-spread sang infection from dasig kag kumbaga kisa it depends sa age group mas grabe ang effect sa COVID-19 infection usually sa elderly kag may mga comorbids, may mga masakit sa baga, sa corazon, diabetic. So grabe ang epekto sa infection sila compared sa seasonal flu nga although dasig man pero kisa mas makita tayo sa mga trangkaso lang ya daw lang siya mild symptoms lang ato after 3 to 5 days matapos niya, wherein ang sa COVID-19 niya lawig kagrabe ang simptomas sa mga pasyente.
Pero doktora, if I have a fever for example, nagkuha ako paracetamol na without knowing kung COVID na o seasonal flu, paano mo mabalaan? Mabulong man ako sa paracetamol? If it is COVID-19, manaog man ang fever ko or hindi gidya?
gapanaog man sila sa kung fever lang in mga kwan pag kumag paracetamol ka it naga-effect man, naga-apekto man siya.
Aga-apekto
Kumbaga
man siya.
take effect man ang paracetamol nga bulong sa hilanman.
O galing ka sige-sige.
Oo, galing ang course ng COVID-19 is mas grabe ang complication niya kumpara sa seasonal flu.
Kag-allergies.
Kag-allergies.
So diri mo makita Doc ang kaimportante sa nga ginatawag nga vaccination campaign sa karon sa atong gobyerno. As a pulmonologist, ano ang take mo sa vaccination?
For me, ang vaccination is another way or another important nga strategy nga pwede tagid i-take bala in order for us to protect ourselves. Wala labot sa aton nga self lang. So kung damo ang magpa-vaccinate, at least maka-help man ta do our part to protect also the individuals nga hindi sila ya kumbaga may mga individuals nga hindi ya makabaton sang vaccine sang mga grabe ka immunocompromised nga mga pasyente nga hindi sila ya matagaan kay tungod kung matagaan medyo mas malawan yung kondisyon. So at least kung majority sa aton population ma-vaccine, makabulig ta mag-protect man sa aton nga komunidad.
So Doc, what is the most effective treatment available right now for COVID-19?
A lot of studies naman nga nakuan ang pinagid ka effective nga maubra ta para ma-avoid ta ang spread sang virus is tanan-tanan actually available gid sa tanan. That's the 4 must nga ubrahon sa tao. So misan sa aton parang tanan balay, so amo sa ginambalamon 4 dapat. So 4 must nga activity. So 4A for air circulation, so open area. Tapos P or ang physical distancing. So at least ang distance ta, so 1 meter away or more. And then always wear mask and face shields. And then 30 minutes interaction or less mask.
Hindi magpadugay.
Di doktora, anong mambal mo ni sa mga I have some friends nga nagainom sila, wala pa sila yung COVID for the prevention, nalipat lang ko sa
Ivermectin.
Yeah. What can you say about that? Is that okay? Is that safe?
Actually, damo na mga campaign for that nga ivermectin is not to be used. Kag dapat hindi siya gina-use as prophylaxis sa kay since hindi pa na siya wala na siya gin-test nga para sa COVID. Mas grabe ang mga adverse effect or complication nga mahatag sa ivermectin kung pagustuhan ta left and right nga inumunta misan wala ta indication for that. So ako I'm not in the side nga magamit sa ivermectin for prophylaxis use.
Although there are doctors who are also into this, and we respect that kung ano man ang ilang pagpati. At anyway, Doc, your message sa aton sila nga mga televiewers, reminders sa tanan nga nagapamati.
So my message to the public is that we must do our part, not only nga i-save tala ang self ta, but as we also saving ourselves, we also helping save our community and sa aton nga upod. So we have always remember and practice the safety protocols that could help us spread sang virus. So amo na 4 dapat. So always practice kung may mga activities ta, as much as possible we do it outside or in an open area. So do always observe the physical distancing, at least 1 meter away or 1 meter apart with each other. And then always wear your face shield and face mask in the public or misan sa damo or crowded nga tao nga area. And then 30 minutes interaction or less is very much proven that it lessen the spread or the risk sang at least 80% nga ma-lower down ta ang lapta sang virus. And then if we're privileged nga maka claim ka sang vaccine, do it for at least for yourself and also for our community also.
So, kabay pa nga nakahatag sa nagakaigo ang kasanagan ang atong nga topiko sa bungaga para sa inyong tanan. Magabalik kami pagkatapos sining panungdom. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you, Doktora.
Rhea
Thank
Tabujara.
you.
Thank you so much.
TLS, TLS, True Lifestyle, True Lifestyle for you and your family.
Manon Hernaez was born in 1942. As a young girl in a family, Manon was with a mother who cooks wonderfully and sewed her clothes till she was 12. She was beside her mom all the time growing up and learned her skills except cooking. Manon finished her Bachelor of Fine Arts in UST, major in advertising. She went to Parsons School of Design in New York and took interior design. She spent most of her years working as a designer and went into export of Christmas decors and houseware till 2005. She retired here in Bacolod in 2006. What would you think if you are 78 going 79 to what is happening now? In her world, Manon almost does everything the same, except that her going out is limited and she always distant herself to others.
Coping means to invest one's own conscious effort to solve stress, conflict, etc. Personally, I would not call it coping, but giving me more time to do the extra things I have always wanted to do but had no time for it. Most of my days are spent doing something. I wish there are more than 24 hours in a day. First weeks of the pandemic, seniors were not allowed to go out. So this was the planning time. What to do, what to learn. I thank God. I thank the good Lord for showering me with knowledge that I love to do.
As a retiree, Manon has been doing a soap business and continues to be a painter herself. She knew new things not in her routine like online orders for some of her materials from Shopee and Amazon. She learned to have more patience waiting for her orders to come. Manon has learned to appreciate the little things of life, like she can just go around the car ride without really going down anywhere, but just to appreciate the mountains and the fields and the plant vendors on the sidewalks. Manon has maintained her hobbies and little business in soap making and jewelry design. Her off times will be for her paintings, which she has been doing since high school. This makes her day full. Late nights are provided by Netflix before sleep time at 2 a.m. In all of this, her hands have always been busy and never complained of being bored.
There are so many things to do, and since I'm a pack rat, materials were on hand to create something. Dig in the small bodega and started fabric masks. Made a lot of thank you cards for the frontliners for NVC's PPE's donation. Soap making was already in the works. Made a lot of research that became volumes of folders one can make with essential oils. Quiet times are for my paintings, my great love. However, I'm selective of my time of being alone, meaning no disturbance from the house helps or even hubby, and that seldom happens because everyone is at home. TV time is with my sewing kit beside me.
Manon shared the importance to plant again and open the waterways that we have closed so water can flow again. Time to pray, pray and pray, and be kind and charitable to each other and make this world a better place to live in.
Calls and FaceTime with my 3 girls and 6 of us from abroad are happy nights with our latest news. This keep the family together, planning next trip somewhere together. Doing my small advocacies give me pleasure, helping out with seniors who need assistance in their nutrition, and books for public school libraries in the farm. Most important of all is prayer, prayer, and more prayer. Happy to discover online mass and rosaries every day. Without prayer, weakness and depression will set in. I have a very short prayer that started when I was diagnosed with breast cancer 7 years ago. Thy will be done. Acceptance makes me happy and strong. Thank you, Lord, for my life extension.
Good day mga palangga, inyo alagad, Lailani Salam Alma,
And Token Lizares.
we are both very excited because after a long time, may kaugalingon na nga puloy-an ang aton mga katapos ang Association of Negros Producer sa Negros Occidental.
Kag ang mga products, one of a kind. Kadto ka mo dire, kay makita gid ninyo, ba malumpat ang mga tagipusoon ninyo, kag daw halos baklo nyo tanan.
Yeah.
Sanami gid daw tawag gid ako man.
Isa ako sa medyo do na subuan sang nakita ko bala sa Robinsons na ang ginamasami ko gid na ginakatuan dira nga makita ang nagkalain-lain nga mga produkto sa
nga aton
producer. So now nabalik ang akon sining excitement nga mismo kita nangimbahin sang ila sa soft opening sa ila na mismo nga building.
Kag today pa lang gani nakita ko da Miss Layo maski ang necklace na ginobra nila ni Mary Ann. My gosh, it's so beautiful.
Yes.
Katahong kadtugid ka mo ha.
Gani, updan nyo kami sa panibago naman nga episode sang TLS Plus bangod amon iga-feature sa inyo. Ining amon ginapabugal nga showroom sa karon sang ANP Negros.
Kag aton gid iniya.
Sa isa naman ka episode sang TLS Plus. Back here sa TLS Plus, isa ka maayong nga balita ang pagbukas sa karon sa pinakabag-o nga ANP showroom. Matapos nga hindi na nato ni makita sadto sa may Robinson's Place bangod syempre sang pandemic man naging pangatubang naton, and we're very glad to have with us today the president of the Association of Negros Producers, Ms. Arlene Infante. Good day, Ms. Arlene.
Good day.
Good day,
everyone.
Arlene.
Good day.
Thank you
Good day.
for having us here.
What are we celebrating today?
Today, we are opening the ANP Hub. This is going to house the ANP showroom, which you missed at Robinson's. We have a training room here,
Yes.
and our corporate offices. So it's like, and also our Bugala market. So it will rise pa.
Briefly tell us about the concept of this and how were you able to have your own showroom after so many years?
Yeah, of course, when the pandemic struck, we had to close the ANP showroom because we were losing money there, and also the 2020, early 2020, we were hoping that the pandemic will just last for like 3 months, no? So we never expected that we had to cancel the Negros, the NTF in Glorieta that year. So you know naman, the past 3 years before that, ang sales namon sa NTF sa Glorieta is like, sige lang saka. So to ka, it's so heartbreaking na we really had to postpone the trade fair. And so, but during the time na ANP was closed, the board is very busy actually, meeting sa Zoom. Actually, racking our brains, kumaano kami. Kay there was a real threat na mapwede gidya kami na mag-stop na operation, masira na gidya the association itself. Kay we were still renting our office at Lacson area. So kamahal sang rent namon, and wala na kami sang revenue. Kaya of course, ang revenue namon comes from the showroom.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, nag-ano lang kami, what do you call that? Nagbahala na. We wrote the governor na we said na since na We won't be staging the NTF this year. What if kung may nakamuda budget for us sa NTF, dugangin nyo na lang.
So, Arlene, ano gid ang nag-motivate sa inyo to open this ANP amidst the pandemic? Kay ang mga Negrosanon, doon nauhaw gid sila eh.
Yeah, of course. So there, why gid kami nag-expect na Go would say na yes.
So, daw, sign gid niya.
Nga daw, wow. Kay actually, sa December 2019 pa lang, si Gob, ginhatagan niya na kami ni isang area na parts ng Talara Foundation. This is 1,000 square meter. Use of rock, through a use of rock agreement of 25 years.
Okay.
So that's rent-free for 25 years. So we already had, by then, we already had this. So amo to nga panikasog kami nga makapangayo kami kay Gob. Kabay pa nga magaan niya kami building. So gingaan niya kami as in wow. As in wow.
So for me, it's a God sign, no?
Yeah, though it's like we really cannot believe na amo na ang matabo.
Okay. Alright.
So even with the pandemic, even with the lockdown sa NGC, sang OBO, mga permits naman for construction, you know, this building was constructed in like 3 months.
Oh, grabe. Miracle.
Yeah.
And Miss Arlene, this is housing how many producers?
Before pandemic, we were like 85 producers. But of course, with this opening, so wala man gid kami nag-expect gid na we can have everybody on board na dayon. Kay kadamo sang nag-ano sa amon anay. Nag-ano sang business bala nila. Nag-reinvent anay. Ginshelva na yung business amo na.
Okay.
So right now we are 35. So I think the rest are just wait and see.
Okay.
Oo. Ako yung Miss Arlene, though I am positive that this time magabalik ang kung ano sa una. Maski may pandemic kita. Kay aton iniiya produkto mo.
Yes, of course.
So ang Negrosanon, kinahanglan sige support na gid ang aton.
Yes. So your message for all the people of Negros?
I invite everyone, all Bacolodnons or all Negrenses, check your ANP showroom now. It's different, it's new, and it's attuned to the times. It's NTF 4.5.
Yes.
Embracing the QR code. So we are also digital at the same time.
Thank you so much, Miss Arlene, for your time. And
thank you, Miss.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you,
thank you, Arlene.
Thank you.
Ako ya kabalugid ko. Mag-boom gid ni.
Salamat dito. Salamat din.
TLS, TLS, TrueLifeStyle, TrueLifeStyle for you and your family. Chef Don.
Welcome back, guys, to another edition of Cooking with Chef Don Colmenares on TLS Plus. Today's episode, we are going to be making one special recipe that everybody I'm sure knows, but everybody can also do. It's a very classic Spanish dish, which we all know we actually were occupied by the Spanish for the longest time. So we adopted certain habits, certain traits, certain tastes, and certain food. So one of this is the empanada. Now the empanada is basically a pie that's stuffed with meat, pork, chicken, and deep fried or baked. However, throughout the years, there have been different variations of this recipe. However, today, we will be doing our version of the empanada. However, we're not gonna stuff it with meat. We're not gonna stuff it with pork or chicken, but what we're going to do is use a locally made, locally grown ingredient which all Negrenses are proud for. It's the victorious food bangus cooked in Spanish style. So, what we're going to start with for this recipe is our basic ingredients, which is the empanada dough. So, the empanada dough is very easy. So, what you're going to need is flour, butter, warm water or lukewarm water, baking powder, and salt. It's as simple as that. So it depends on where you are. The recipe can always change. However, the basic of the empanada dough is always the same. So we start with the flour. More or less, this is 1 cup to 2 cups, but what we're going to be using is all-purpose flour. So this is 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. We're going to be using our KitchenAid mixer, or else I'm going to spend the whole day making the dough. Next, we're going to add our baking powder. So you process this step by step with all of our dry ingredients. So that was 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Next is salt, iodized salt, basically around 1 teaspoon of iodized salt. We're going to turn on our mixer and mix our dry ingredients just to make sure they're fully incorporated. Just a quick mix. Next, we're going to add our... This is about 2 tablespoons of butter. We use unsalted butter. I prefer Anchor, but depends on you. You don't have to use anything specific if you don't have. All right? Okay. And then now, we mix. Now, the reason why we're mixing this now is so that the butter can evenly distribute within the flour, so you get a nice even type of dough. So now, as you can see, you have almost like a sandy texture, almost like pebbles or really, really fine pebbles. When this happens, that's when you know that your butter is fully incorporated. And now, that's where you add your water, your lukewarm water. So we're going to add this slowly. Just half. And then we're going to see if it incorporates. So we're going to increase the speed. And now if you notice, the solids, the sandy texture started to form into a dough, or starting to form into something solid. Now by this time, okay, again, we add a little bit. Remember guys, the rule is you can always add, but you can never subtract. Now if you can see, it's starting to form into something solid. So the point where it reaches this consistency, you're done. Okay? So now we remove the dough. And as you can see, it's formed into a nice structure. It has good structure now. So what we can do is, we're just going to knead it a little more by hand now for just a quick, maybe 5 minutes. Okay, so that's done. Form it into a ball, or basically like a siopaw. And then we're going to wrap this in cling wrap and then stick it in the freezer or in the refrigerator until you need it. So for my purpose, we'll just put it in for another 2 hours, right? Okay, while our dough is in the chiller, we are going to make our filling using our bangus from Victoria's Food, Spanish style. So all we do is we open the bangus can, we take out the excess oil. You can dispose of that or you can still use it. It's up to you. Take the bangus, and with a spoon, we can smash the bangus. Bones and all. The reason why we can smash the bones is because it was in the can. So what they do is they cook the bangus in the can. So even the bones, everything is edible. Okay. If you smell it, it smells really, really good. Now, we take our potatoes that are blanched. Basically, we boil them in salt and in water, just for a little bit. And then we're going to add this. Okay. Carrots, same process, exactly the same process. We boiled it with some water and salt. Next, we're going to add raisins or pasas. Red onions that we minced. Pepper, just a pinch of pepper. And a few dashes of McCormick Spanish paprika. So we're going to add a little color, some spring onions. And then a pinch of salt. Then finally, we're going to mix. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to keep this in the chiller. Keep it till our dough is ready, and in a few hours, it's going to be ready. Alright? Now, after a few hours, our dough has chilled, and now it's actually pretty firm compared to how it was. Now, this is because of the butter. Now, when we're doing this, that's the reason why we put it in the chiller, so that it's easy for us to fold it out. Now, with the basics of culinary equipment, this is what you call a dough sheeter for pasta. But it's just not pasta because we can use this to roll out our empanada dough. Okay? So what we're going to do is, so it's easier for us to work with the empanada dough. All I'm going to do is cut this in half. Okay? And then now work with it. It's nice and chilled. So what I'm going to do is make it a little bit softer with the heat of coming from my hands. What I'm going to do now is basically flatten this down with using a rolling pin to the size that I want that can fit our pasta machine. Okay? Okay. So now, what we're going to use so that this does not get stuck here is we're going to use cornstarch. Now, the reason why we're using cornstarch instead of flour is because if we use flour, it's going to dry up the dough. Cornstarch, not as much. So take a little bit of cornstarch, both sides. And then we're going to run this through the dough sheeter. See, it ran smooth. Again, cornstarch. And again. Now we start at the widest setting. Now we're going to go to the next thinnest setting. Okay? And then we're going to do this a few times. There we go. So now our empanada dough is at the length and at the thickness that we want. Now what we're going to do is use a cutter. You can use a cookie cutter, you can use a platito. So you take the platito and then you trace around. Now my cutter is because I can do is press down and then just cut directly. Okay? So we're gonna cut our circles. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think, oh, that's it, 5. So with one side, you can do 5. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we have our dough circles cut. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stuff it with the empanada and we're going to crimp. So, take some of our stuffing. Then we put this inside. Not too much, or else later it might explode. Okay? Right. Then the next step is what we're going to do is we're going to close it, seal it by adding water. So it's very simple. All we do is take some water on the tip of your fingers and then seal the top part with water. Then take the dry side, press down, and then we're going to seal the empanada. Okay? So you lightly press down on the empanada. Okay, then you move on to the next. Again, same thing. Add water on the side. Take the dry side, press down, and then seal. And again, press down, spread it about. Okay, so we're done with our sealing. Now what we're going to do is what gives empanada character. It's called crimping. Now crimping is basically we fold the sides upon each other. So it's simple as you take one side, you pinch, you twist, and then you pinch. And then again, you twist, you pinch, you twist, you pinch, again, twist, and then you pinch. So the more you do this, the more it's going to seal the empanada. Okay, there you go. Doesn't look as pretty, but it works. And there you have it. So this is our empanada. Now what we can do is, we can take our finished product, put it in the freezer or put it in the chiller so that it becomes solid again. And then that's when we deep fry, or else it's going to break apart. Okay, so about 20 minutes and then we'll be right back. Alright, so after 20 minutes of this being in the chiller, it is time to fry. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to deep fry it in oil. So we are going to keep this oil at about 160 degrees Celsius or 150 degrees Celsius because we don't want this to over fry or to burn. So now, I'm gonna take our empanada and then slowly deep fry our empanada. So see, just the right amount of bubbles. Remember, when you put the empanada, make sure you layer it, put it down facing away, or else if you plop it down facing you, it might explode at you. Okay, now we'll give this a few minutes to deep fry until it's golden brown, and then we take it out and serve. Okay, so after about 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to take them out. Okay, so we place this on top of a plate with tissue paper so that it absorbs the excess oil. Again, we don't want you to bite into our empanada and it's going to be oily. No one likes that, okay? So give this, I know you're so excited, but please give it at least 5 to 10 minutes. Then you can enjoy it, alright? Alright, so 10 minutes have passed. Waiting time is over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to serve this to our lovely guests. We want it to look nice. So what we do is we take a wooden bowl made locally, put our empanada on top, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little color. And it's so simple, and yet everybody has it. Just a little bit of spring onions to make it look nice. Okay? Gives color. So there you have it. This is my bangus empanada by Victoria's Foods. Enjoy! Hi, Tita! So this is the finished product, ang ato na empanada from Victoria's Foods.
I cannot wait to try this. Kabalo-kabala chef Don. Galan, tao lang kasi mo galuto, galaway na ko. And you know, empanadas are my favorite too. So, tilawan ko ni.
Yes.
Kay dumadya, sa hamon pa lang, damubuang na ko dahil agit ha sa Tita Token na mahilig sa empanada.
It's not oily, it's crispy.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Namit-namit, tuto!
Thank you, Tita.
Ako ya, friends, wala pala ko yan nagasugid sa hindi ka matuuran kay budlay na yan. Tilawan yung empanada ni Chef Don. Oh my God. To die for. Believe me. Sa kadamot sa empanada na kaon ko, this is the best. Namit-namit, kidya. Yung ano mo itutok man?
Simple lang. Basic ingredients, basic recipe. It's just the technique that we applied.
Namit kajayam. Try this kajaya, friends, ha? Kung gusto niyo mag-order kay Chef Don, ano ka na lang, damo ay? Hindi pala lang mag-prepare sini. Abi ko pala, Chef Don, mag-prepare sini, kadali lang. Di na tulok to kagali.
It takes a while.
Oo, gali. Hindi na lang ko mag-ambisyon na mag-chef pangga kay daw. Wala din sa linya po, mas kayo magluto na ko itlog sunog. Makanta na si Diva Token niya.
Okay, no problem.
Grabe ka. Saludo ko sa imong
Thank you,
kanga. Kaga, thank you so much nga gina-support mo gid ang show. Kag inang diri mo gid na ka very class sa presentation, kanamit-namit, and international chef, belongs to a prominent family nga very kind-hearted. Chef Don, ang mahambal ni Tita Token sa imo. Thank you so much. I love you and God bless you.
Thank you, Tita. I'm happy you enjoyed.
Friends,
Thank
try
you.
this.
Let's look deeper to the world of self-taught artist and watercolor painter Suklin Chang Pena. She is a mother of 5 boys and married to sugarcane planter Bonifacio Bani Pena. Recently, she joined an exhibit in Japan. Her painting of a Philippine eagle called King of the Skies was featured in the Japan International Watercolor Institute. Suklin shares with us how she continued with her artistic hobby during this pandemic. Suklin's beautiful paintings help soothe the anxieties and worries of many, as these masterpieces are therapy to the heart and mind. Let me join you to the watercolor painting works of Suklin. Suklin realized that as she started painting and sketching, that she is recording life with so much of God's daily blessings. Painting makes her notice the details that she usually take for granted. Suklin wants to record memories by painting for her to appreciate it too later in life. Suklin compiles a record of her works under her Instagram at Helena Goya. Suklin joined the World Watercolor Group on Facebook, which opened a new world for her. She was exposed to the excellent works of other watercolor artists around the world. Most of their paintings were joyful, colorful, and full of life. Suklin's work of art depicts the beauty and color of life.
TLS, TrueLifeStyle for you and your family.
pa sang bata pa siya, mahilig na gid siya sa mga tanom. Ang persona nga ato ni ga-feature sa sininga episode, makabig naton ehemplo sang ginatawag naton nga plantita queen diri sa syudad sang Bacolod. Amo ni ga-feature sa inyo subong ining pinasahi nga hobby sang aton amiga Miss Portia Familiaran.
Portia further said that gardening gives the inner peace she's been looking for. Her mornings spent with a cup of coffee while enjoying her plants is something that restores her physical being. With her plant hobby, she had the opportunity to help small businesses who now find a fortune through growing and selling plants and plant accessories. Specially made pots were named Portia pots after her by artist Jojo Vito. These fiberglass pots and jars are lightweight, durable, and are now one of the most in-demand items for many plant parents. Many posts on social media are enticing. That's why many who were never into plants and gardening in the past are now getting their hands dirty by gardening. Remember, plants increase level of positive energy and help people feel secure and relaxed, especially this time of the pandemic. So, let's start planting now.
Hello guys, this is Raimundo saying congratulations to everyone behind the show TLS, or True Lifestyle. A very inspiring and informative, uplifting program, especially in this time of pandemic. Stay safe everybody. God bless you.
This pandemic crippled us all. Kadamaan sang aton mga isig katawo, nagka-suffer na gid sa ginatawag na hopelessness. May ara na nagkakadagdag sa depression, anxiety attacks, and we cannot blame them tungod sa kalatabo sa aton kalibutan. Wala sang hindi nga naigo dire, even I. Latawon ta ang story sa isa ka mother of 4. Kagkabay pa nga ang iyang reflection makahatag sa aton sang inspirasyon.
Looking back to the time when the pandemic just broke out, my family and I were also welcoming our 4th son on January of 2020. It was really tough. The world was in a state of shock, and so was our family. Everything was so grim and uncertain. Death seemed to be roaming around like an invited guest that could crash at anyone's doorstep at any time. We were scared for our family, especially for our 4 very young children. But we could not let them see that. So behind closed doors, me and my husband would take turns having anxiety. But every so often, my husband was the one who would be carrying so much load just because he was the head of the family. And he took it on himself to protect us in all scenarios. It was so tiring having to worry most of the time, and we could not live like that. Fortunately, amidst all the peril and uncertainties that COVID brought, we knew deep in our hearts that God could not be overcome by anything, and that His great love for us will always see us through. And that knowing held us together. So we built on that. We prayed as a family. We prayed individually. The very important thing for us was to pray. In prayer, our blessings are remembered. God's presence is remembered and confirmed. And slowly, one day at a time, that's how we coped. And through our children, God taught us how to be like little children. The amazing thing about children is that no matter how bad things may seem around them, If they know that they have their parents to hang on to, that sense of security just envelopes them and they forget. Things become okay again. In that way also, we knew God wants us to be the same, like trusting little children on the love of their Father. So days went by and we were still cooped up together in the house, and we cannot not do anything. We have to live. We have to go on. So we did. We did our regular routines and chores, and because we are blessed with many kids, it was easy to get busy with them or with the chores. And in moments when me and my husband would feel scared because of some issues, it helped a lot that we were able to talk about it with each other without any judgments, that we can speak about the grimmest imaginations and put it out there in the light until it gets broken down. So time went by, and as my husband would say jokingly, we kind of settled into the pandemic. So if there's any takeaway from this experience, is that to always have faith in God and build and live and grow on that. Not just because you want to survive, but because He is our everything. He's the only one that matters. This pandemic is a warning, a wake-up call to us already, that we should get our acts together because we are all connected. Our actions have repercussions, and that we have to choose wisely in the way we treat Mother Nature, how we treat one another. For me, God letting this pandemic happen to us is His way of shaking us up, and also His way of asking us, what have you done with my gifts? As with the parable of the talents in Matthew 25, verse 14.
I hope that the story of Ina Zulueta has somehow brought us light to our dark world, especially to those mothers who have small children. God bless us all.
TLS, TLS, True Lifestyle, True Lifestyle for you and your family.
She dreamt of celebrating her 60th birthday with God and her friends from the religious community. Token Lizares celebrated her birthday in a solemn mass together with her friend priests and nuns from different congregations in the province of Negros Occidental. Token shared her personal letter to God after the celebration of the mass.
Dearest God, today as I turn 60 and I will be enjoying the 20% discount of being a senior citizen, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you have done for me in my 60 years of existence here on earth. I thank you for the good and bad things that happened in my life. Those good things made me realize how precious I am to you, and the bad things as your way of reminding me that I always have you to turn to. In my younger days, I would often tell you that I am completely yours. But temptations of this world and painful circumstances somehow ruined that promise I made to you. So I became worldly and I rebelled with those people who hurt me along the way. Severe trials and problems weakened my resolve to really be good and pleasing to your sight. But you never gave up on me. You were always there protecting me from my sinful ways. You even gave me a mission so big, and that is to serve you through the poorest of the poor, especially the sick poor, or building your churches. And deserving that I am, you did not change your mind. You chose me still. Little did I know that this mission you gave me will eventually lead me to the path of righteousness and holiness. Your infinite mercy saved me from utter destruction and total damnation. You are a great God, and I cannot even find the right words to describe how good you are, how merciful you are, how forgiving and patient you are. My soul praises you, my heart adores you, my whole being worships you. Now my life is solely dedicated to serving and loving you up to the time when my mission here on earth is over. I just pray that when this time comes, Your endless mercy will bring me to heaven to be with you and to be with Mama Mary eternally. So tonight, I want to renew my promise to you, dear God. I am completely yours and yours alone. You are my God, my everything. But this time, please tie me around your waist so that I will never ever stray away from you again. I love you so much, and I will die forever loving you, Mama Mary, together with Saint Joseph, all the archangels, angels, and saints in heaven. Amen. Happy birthday to Kina!
TLS host and charity Diva Token won the hearts of many who shared their birthday thoughts with her.
Really, for sure the Lord can never say no to her also. The gates of heaven will always be open for her. And that we appreciate you so much, Tita, and we love you.
She's really a token from God. So, ang program ni pagtawag ko sa iya, sila ko kinandan, sugot tayo na kinandan, may charity ni, ang songs mo about that. Because we want to touch other people. Hindi lang niya nga ano i-cover ta, ang focus ka center sa atong topic sa atong show, dapat nakalitan siguro.
Token son CJ Lizares prepared an intimate and surprise birthday celebration for his mom.
He has promised to never leave you, nor forsake you. And His word is true. God is good all the time. He put a song of praise in this heart of mine. Just one look one more look and I forget everything. Oh, Mamma Mia, here I go again, Mama. How can I resist you?
Langit, sa gabing madilim, tanglaw kang marikit. Sa kislap mong taglay, liwanag na dulot, suliranit lumbay, dagling nalilimot.
Yes! Can we give a big round of applause? You are.
Today, you are the crowd that sits quiet, listening to me and all the medicines that I make.
And blow your candle. Blow your candles after that. Can we give a big round of applause? Happy birthday, I'm Token!
We hold on together. I know our dreams will never die. See us through forever, where clouds roll by. For you and Naririto ako, ako'y iyong amang nagmamahal sa'yo. Hindi kita pababayaan sa landas ng kalungkutan. Ako'y iyong maaasahan. Tahan na, anak, tahan na sa iyong paghihirap. Naririnig kita, ako'y iyong amang karamay sa tuwin na hindi kita maaring iwanan sa oras ng pag-iisa. Ako'y iyong kasama. Mahal na mahal kita, ika'y aking anak, ako'y iyong ama. Mahal na mahal kita, dugo at laman natin isa. Kaya tumahan ka, yakap-yakap kita, hinahagan tuwing na. Tahan na, anak, tahan na sa iyong pagbiyak. Naririto ako, ako'y iyong amang nagmamahal sa'yo. Hindi kita pababayaan sa landas ng kalungkutan. Ako'y iyong maaasahan. Mahal na mahal kita, ika'y aking anak, ako'y iyong ama. Mahal na mahal kita, dugo at laman natin isa. Kaya tumahan ka, yakap-yakap kita, hinahagan tuwing na.
This token, before ta magtakop, no, gusto ko lang i-acknowledge si Jerry Caldino, si Tito Jerry, ang nagapagwapa sa amon.
Ay, grabe. Gidya kasagad. Gidya lang tawang amon hair and makeup. Magic.
Oh, thank you, Jerry, of Aesthetic Salon.
Thank you,
so
Jerry.
much.
I love you.
Kag amuyad to ang isa naman ka episode sang inyo sininga TLS Plus. Kabay pa nga nag-enjoy ka mo sa pag-upod sa amon sa sini naman nga pinasahi nga episode.
We love you. Bye.
Mwah.
TLS, TLS, TrueLifeStyle, TrueLifeStyle for you and your family. TLS, your true life.